I caught my boyfriend, Chad, cheating just before his big night. Should I expose him or exit gracefully? What should I do? I won't go into all the gory details of our relationship. We were in love, and well, I still love him, but I found out clearly he does not. I discovered proof that he has been cheating on me for a while, in the form of small home MOVYES of them. I don't know the girl, and from the looks of their conversations, went ahead and post-discovery snooped. She has no idea I exist. Tonight is the biggest night of Chad's life. He's receiving a state award at a big dinner, with a few hundred people attending from his mom and dad to councilmen and all of that. In fact, the only reason I discovered this transgression is because I've been putting together a little video for him to enjoy some of the key moments of his life, typical sappy. I'm burdened with a lot of power right now, and I don't know if I have it in me to do the right thing or if I even know the right thing. I'm blinded with tears of rage and sadness, betrayal. But at the same time, I love him, have loved him, and do I really want to do this? The relationship is over, no doubt about it. I'm not a woman who will take her man cheating on her, certainly not. That's not the issue. The issue is there are cutest selfies of the two of them, a lot of them, only shared between the two of them. Nothing lewd, there's plenty of that on camera though. Do I sneak one in the snap reel as a way of letting him know that I know? Or do I simply confront him after his moment and the sun passes? I'm not going to pick up everything and leave without cutting contact. That's not my style, and it wouldn't make me feel good, just very sad. Do I do the thing for once in my life? To anyone looking at the snap reel, it would just look like a picture of him and a friend, but to him and to me, it would be a private message, an outing. Help me, Reddit. I don't know what to do this time. They DYR found out BF was cheating on me and have the power to let him know VY, a slipping a photo of the two of them into the snap reel showing. Should I do it or gracefully exit his life? Relevant comments comment 1 nah. You know what, if there's really nothing that anyone would pick up on other than the two of you, you slip that photo into the slideshow, make eye contact with him when a photo appears on screen, then when it's over you stand up and walk out. It ain't the high road, but nobody needs to walk the high road all the time. Up I chuckled. I think the only reason I would do this is to make eye contact with him so that he knows I know, but I'm not sure I have the guts to do that. I'm not exactly Ollie VY a Pope. Update found out BF was cheating on me and had the power to let him know VY, a slipping a photo of the two of them into the snap reel showing. Should I do it or gracefully exit his life? Well, it's been a month and a half since this all went down. I have gotten so many requests for an update, and I never intended to actually give one honestly, because I was afraid of the fallout depending on what I ended up doing. So what did I do? I did the immature, vengeful thing, and I don't regret it. I took a few photos of the two of them, tasteful photos that gave off no indication other than she might be a childhood friend. I slipped them into the snap reel, and I spoke kindly of him at the podium. Then after my turn was finished, I walked out. I drove home feeling calm and in control. 20 minutes later, the text started. Where did I go? What did I know? Where did I find the photos? Was there more in store for him? I texted him, I know you've been here, but there are no more photos. There weren't any. And of course I left it at that. He didn't come home that night or the next. The next day, he called me to ask me if we could meet and talk at a public location. I agreed to meet him at Starbucks. I arrived early, waited for him. He showed up a few minutes late and took the seat across from me. He started right off with the excuses, how it just happened, and he regrets it fully. She doesn't mean anything to him, and that she looked like a girl he had a crush on in high school, and he was powerless against his teenage self. I didn't interrupt him, just let him have his time. When he was done and looking at me for a sign of what might happen next, all I could say was, so, where did you stay the past few nights, her house? And what did you do? He wouldn't answer. There hadn't been any doubt in my mind, really. I knew I was Leah VYing him. He talked over himself, apologizing, begging for forgiveness, saying he'd change. I told him that I didn't want him to have to change himself, that if he was naturally with someone who cheated on his girlfriend, then that's not someone I wanted to be. He said that he was thinking of proposing to me, and all I could say after that was good thing I found out before. Fast forward to a few weeks later, he's moved out, and I'm doing well. We have cut off contact. People ask me about him all the time, and I just let them know he left me for a girl who looked like his high school crush. So that's the end. We are broken up. We are never ever getting back together. I don't feel any regret for how I handled it. Like one commenter said, there's no need to take the high road all the time. I added the photos to the snap reel. He saw them. We broke up and are never getting back together. I don't regret my choice. only that I wasted 3 years with an overgrown child. Now to the next story. Story 2. Am I the for demanding my husband block his female friend who warned him against marrying me? I, Gail, 26, want my husband, Todd, 27, to immediately block one of his friends, Mara, 27. He thinks I'm overreacting and wants opinions from some cool-headed people on if I'm just acting crazy or this is something that would cross the line for him. My husband has a group of 8 friends he has been close with since his college days. Mara is one of his friends. When my husband and I started dating, he introduced me to all of them, and everyone was very friendly. I used to hang out with them frequently. I am an introvert, and so is my husband. I would always ask him to spend time alone, as being in social settings just saps all my energy away. His friends, and especially Mara, always made it a point to tell me how he hangs out with them less after he started dating. Mara also had a weird energy around. If I was with my husband, she would be the friendliest with me, however. As soon as he walked away, she acted like I did not exist. My husband hates to be touched by others we both are ND, but Mara would always tease him by trying to hug him, mess his hair, etc. I never felt she was flirting with him, but just teasing him to make him annoyed. Overall, she just feels like a person who has a severe social boundary. We got married 2 years ago, and things have been great between us. Last week, we had our second marriage anniversary and invited a bunch of people. His friends stayed back after all the guests left, and we were all drinking and chatting. One of his friends, Jill, became a bit tipsy and started complimenting me on how beautiful our house is, how I care for my husband, and how he has changed for the better since. Everyone was laughing at my husband, at how much of a slob he was when he was single. Jill then pointed at Mara and said, "You better pay up, because you would bet that their marriage would not even last for 2 years." Everyone became silent and started changing the topic. I also did not want to spoil the mood and let it go, but it stuck in my head. After everyone left, I asked my husband what Jill was talking about. He also had noticed Jill saying that and was ready with a full explanation. He told me the story of what happened when we got engaged. When he proposed to me, he had not told his friends that he was going to do that. We went on a trip to Puerto Rico, and he surprised me there. We put our engagement pictures on Instagram while we were on the trip, and it was a big surprise to everyone, as we were only dating for 1 year. When he came back and met all his friends, everyone congratulated him, however. Mara started ranting about how he was a fool to propose so quickly, and she felt that I was not the right girl for it. Seems like she said some unkind things about me, implying I was a gold digger. My husband's family is wealthy, but so is mine. She had said that she bet we would break up within 2 years if we got married. That is why Jill was taunting her about how happy my husband was. I was very furious at this point, as I feel this is something he should have told me. I asked him to tell me truthfully if he had ever dated Mara or had any history with her, as he has always told me that he has never dated anyone from his friend group. He said that he has, of course, not dated or hooked up with Mara, however. Mara had asked him out a few times when they were in college, and he always politely declined. I asked why I said no to her, and he said he just does not have any romantic feelings. I can see that because my husband does have a type based on me or the other people he has dated in the past, and Mara is the opposite of that. I'm just mad at her for saying bad things about me, especially after knowing that we were already engaged and betting against my marriage. I told my husband that he needs to minimize contact with Mara, and she is not invited to parties at our house anymore. He feels I'm being too harsh for something she said almost 3 years ago. He also pointed out that she has been very supportive to both of us and also helped a lot during our wedding arrangement. He feels she is just blunt and forthright when she speaks, but does not mean those things. He told me to take some time and calm down, and we would revisit this topic in a week. He is worried this will completely change the dynamics within his friend group. Am I for wanting him to block her and stop inviting her to our house? Do you think I'm overreacting? I think betting against our marriage and bad-mouthing me behind my back seems like a huge betrayal. I'm also mad at my husband that he kept this fact from me and also never told me that Mara asked him out during college days. Am I just being crazy and reactive? How would you react in this situation? I don't want to distance my husband from his friends, but I also do not want to see that Mara's face again. Update I had posted almost 6 months ago regarding my husband's friend, Mara, betting that our marriage would not last for more than 2 years. I was upset and had asked my husband to stop talking to her because she disrespected our marriage. Since then, Mara has pulled some really pathetic to stir up issues between my husband and I. After I wrote the post, my husband was trying to convince me that Mara was just joking when she made those comments. and it happened so long ago. Mara messaged me the next day, apologizing for her comments and also not making more efforts to connect with me. I accepted her apology and started warming up to her. She started inviting me for brunches and girls' night out with them, and I felt included in their friend group. One day during brunch, I brought up why Mara really thought our marriage would not work out. Mara told me that my husband broke up with his long-term ex-girlfriend, Josie, 2 months before he started dating me. I knew that part, but Mara told me that my husband was really heartbroken after the breakup and swore to her that he would stay away from dating anyone. When he met me, my mom set us up on a blind date. She was surprised how quickly we hit it off. Mara thought that I was his rebound relationship, but when he proposed to me within a year, she was worried that he was making a very rash decision. My husband's family is rich, and she thought it was unwise for him to marry so quickly without knowing me. She did not know enough about me, and that my family is also very well off. That is why she was concerned that I was taking advantage of his vulnerable state. She apologized to me and said that it was wrong for her to assume that, and over the years she has seen how happy we are together. I appreciated her honesty and Mara, and I became good friends since then and started hanging out more frequently. Around 2 months ago, my husband went to a conference in Seattle for 3 nights. After he came back, I got a "Hey girly" message on Instagram from Josie, his ex. She told me that my husband contacted her a few months ago, and they met in Seattle during the conference, and she could give me more proof if I want. I went through my husband's Instagram, but he seems to have blocked her. I made a mistake of mentioning it to Mara, as she was the only person honest to me about Josie, and she went into detective mode to help me. She was still friends with Josie on Instagram, as they all went to college together, and opened her profile. The message sent to me was from a different profile with no followers. We checked her photos, and we saw that she attended the same conference as my husband did in Seattle. Mara suggested I should ask Josie for more proof, and also ask my husband about the same before assuming the worst. I asked my husband if he met Josie, and he said yes. He told me he just met her in the expo hall and chatted with her for a few minutes. I asked him why he did not mention it, and he told me it was just a quick conversation, and he did not think too much of it. He asked me how I knew it, and I told him that Mara mentioned that she saw her pictures at the conference, and I thought he might have seen her. I messaged Josie again to share more proof, as she told me that they have been chatting for the past 2 months and planned to attend the conference together. She shared a log of their messages where my husband was actively flirting with her. The screenshots did look legit, but I did not see any of those messages in my husband's Instagram profile. I talked to Mara about it, as I did not know what to believe. I messaged Josie to tell us what happened, and she told me that he invited her to the room at nights, and they hooked up, but she does not have any photos, as he insisted they do not take any pictures together. I immediately realized it was fake and messaged Josie to off. She kept on insisting they were telling the truth, and she spent the nights with my husband in his room on all 3 nights. I told her that my husband and I were playing video games, Sea of Thieves, for almost 2-3 hours each night after his dinner, as that is what we do to catch up when he is away, unless Josie was sitting behind him watching us play till he fell asleep. She was full of I also told my husband about the whole incident, and he told me I should have come to him sooner. He told me that he has gone no contact with Josie ever since they broke up, and he just ran into her at the conference. He told me I could check his phone and everything to verify that he has blocked her everywhere. I told him I do not need to, and Josie might have run into him and just decided to his life by making up stuff. When all the friends met that weekend, my husband and I told everyone about how Josie sent messages to me and faked everything. Mara was also telling what happened, as she had told her about it. Mara accidentally let it slip out that it's luckily we are nerds and played video games at nights before sleeping. Else props go to Josie for making up a con and sing story. I never told Mara about the video game stuff. I just told her Josie is full of, and I blocked her. It took me until I came home to connect the dots. I told my husband about it, and he confronted Mara. She denied it and told him that I told her about the video game stuff on a phone call, but I don't remember doing it. We have since decided to keep our distance from Mara. Mara has called me multiple times to meet up, but I just make up reasons that I am busy. I do not know why she did it, but at this point I am not interested in it, and we have decided to just see her on social occasions and avoid hanging out with her as much as possible. I feel stupid that she played me for a fool. I should have not gone to her when Josie started messaging. In hindsight, it seems suspicious that Mara started telling me about Josie, And at the same time, Josie claimed to have an affair with my husband. I do not know what her intentions are, but I am mad enough that I will avoid her as much as possible. I wish I had some real proof that she was the one messaging so that I could expose her. I also feel bad for suspecting my husband, but I'm glad my husband and I are on the same page now. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.